All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fabs in the house, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have on the table these two beauties. I've got a Leica M7 with the 50 Summilux 1.4, and I have a Horseman SW612 with the Rodenstock 35mm Apograndagon mounted on. And I just want to share my thoughts with you guys as of why I think these are the best cameras in their category. At least I love to use them, and you know, the camera is something really special for the photographer. I believe that there must be some sort of a relationship with the tool that you're going to be using, like from various aspects, like especially from the aesthetic point of view. I am a strong believer that you need to like the camera aesthetically first in order to be able to grab this thing, just go out and start shooting with it. I think you need to like the object, the item, at least. For me, it always has been like that. So the aesthetic counts. I mean, it doesn't matter, of course, at all for the end result, but I think there's sexier cameras than others. I mean, this is a really compact option. So I cheated a little bit here because this is a 612 and I have mounted on a 6x9 centimeters back to allow for 8 exposure, but actually mainly to cheat in the sense of the size of this camera. I mean, this camera over here is a medium format camera using large format lenses to take panoramic shots. And it's not quite fair because, for example, in this case, we are shooting a 35mm Apograndagon, and that for sure would benefit from the use of a center filter, in this case adding 2.5 stops. That's pretty dark. So this is matching the filter, of course, made by Rodenstock. And you just screw it on. So it's gonna add a little bit more bulk, a little bit more weight, but still very, very controlled. And actually it's gonna be looking even cooler. Look at this. It just, you know. Also, I cheated a little bit because you might wanna just grab the cap, right? So it's fine. It's going to be a little bit bulkier. Maybe you do not want to shoot 6x9, so you have to pop in another back, which is going to probably be the 6x12 back that you love to use with a 6x12 camera, which is going to allow you for 6 exposures. So you just pop that in, and again, the camera became a little bit bulkier again, a little bit heavier again, but with more functionalities. So the design, of course, is going to be perfectly aligned up, so it's going to be looking nicer. And I, of course, will be needing, I would assume I would need a finder like that, which is going to get mounted on the cold shoe on the top, like so, and locked in place. So this is the final camera, let's say, like this, where you would be just carrying around, and you know, just to give you an idea of a 6x12 and a 35mm format size comparison, it's pretty fair to say this is just unbeatable. I mean, this is a full frame, 35mm, but it's an analog, of course, and it's just tiny, compact, sleek. There's automatism. It's shooting up to 1,000 of a second. It has battery. It has a light meter. It has a rangefinder. It's a very, very precise tool, even if it's up to the photographer to have some analog skills, like the focus, the aperture, the composing, it's not as easy as a DSLR or a mirrorless or a modern camera. But I mean, the point here is to show you the size of a 35mm and the size of a 6x12 medium format panoramic camera, like that, in this case Horseman, very compact, like extremely compact. Just to give you an idea, and again, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm going to put this away for a second, and I'm going to bring in something You might be more familiar with it. It's a Nikon Z9. And I'm cheating again because it's mounted with the Nocta, and it's unfair. This is a 58 millimeter, and this is not that. This is equivalent to 11.5 millimeter on a full frame equivalent sensor, so not fair at all. So this is going to be shorter, but just again to give you an idea of the size. Right? No, let's not even talk about the weight, but just to give you a perspective from the back at the same height. Look at this. Very, very comparable in size, in height, in length, in weight. This is much lighter than the Z9. And I mean, again, I'm cheating because this is a Nocta, is like a beast. It's extremely heavy. But to give you a little bit more perspective, of how small this thing is and why it's my favorite, I'm gonna bring in some bigger camera, like this is a Horseman 6x17 professional, just to give you a size comparison of these two things. I mean, guys, it's evident, right? It's pretty clear that we have a winner on the left for portability. Let's do like this so you have another perspective. Portability, weight, I mean, hello guys, this thing is heavy. And again, I'm cheating a little bit because I have a filter mounted on. By the way, this is from Linov Studio, a great Lee filter for the 150 holder. It works wonders with these donut adapters for the center filters. But anyways, you get the sense of a 617 format. So again, it's a bigger format than that, but you get the idea, and you get the sense of how huge is this thing. Now, if I move this thing out of the picture and I bring back the Leica, you're gonna be shocked. Would you look at this? This again, it's not fair, it's an unfair comparison, but still, it's for fun, it's for giggles. Look at this, 35 millimeter up against a 6x17 centimeters format. Huge. Massive format, but the images coming out of from this camera are going to be, of course, blowing away the Leica images, but it's completely different setup. This is, you can shoot handheld. This you're gonna pretty much require a tripod to shoot with this, especially if you employ the center filter and 100 ISO. I mean, even if you have a very sunny, bright day, you would be hitting like 30th of a second, 60th of a second, and here I'm shooting with a 90 millimeter. So it's still a 90 millimeter, even if the equivalent on 35 millimeter would be around 20 millimeter. Still, I gotta take account and take in consideration for that aspect. So, anyways, the whole point. Let me just put this down. The whole point of this video was to share my impressions with you for these two cameras, because these are actually what I really am taking away daily, on a daily basis, out with me. My favorite analog cameras are these two fellas, and I got a couple lenses for the Leica, so I believe 50 and 35 millimeters for Leica, because of the viewfinder limitation, let's say, are ideal. If you don't want to use an external viewfinder, you're going to be fine. But for that, I mean, that means if you would like to go wide, because you can't really go tight on this one. I mean, you could, but it's not ideal. This is a rangefinder camera. It's very good if you're up to 50 millimeter, and I would say wide angles. Of course, zone focusing is going to be super cool, but you're going to need an external viewfinder, kind of like this fella right over here, that is able to switch masks to match the correspondent lens mounted on. And I've got a couple of these lenses, so it's the wide angle camera by definition, because it's a SW612, so super wide 612. And this can be easily handheld, because, for example, here I'm shooting 35 millimeter. This guy gets to 4.5 right over here, and like for example, let's say I'm shooting at 5.6 and I'm using 5.6 right over here. Boom! At 5.6 I have in focus up to 1.8 meters, so there's no need to focus with this thing. And 5.6, it's quite open to allow for daylight shooting, especially, for example, in this case, I believe I'm shooting this thing, so it's fun. You can bring this out in the daylight with a minus, I remember, you have to subtract, add 2.5 shots to the exposition, because this is reducing the exposure of a 2.5 stops. So you're going to be still able to shoot in daylight hand holding this thing. And of course, you want to close a little bit down that to maybe 11. So you go to 11, look at that, it goes to like, what, 90 centimeters. So you just forget about focusing with this thing, because it's ultra wide. You're shooting 612 format on medium format 120 film. It's insane. The finder is bright. It's you can hand hold this camera. You can even use like a mini tripod if you want, or like, for example, you can also use like a lens guard. And I love to use this because I carry the camera even through this hook over here. So it's adding a little bit, again, of weight and bulk, but this would be my preferred configuration when I need something portable and not like too heavy like those two behemoths that I just showed you. I mean, these are fantastic tools. There is plenty of other tools that are greatly, equally producing of stunning results. Of course, it's about the photographer. The tool, yeah, you need the tool, but the photographer is the guy or the girl or the person clicking that button and focusing that thing and putting the exposure values into the camera. So that's going to be up to you how to pick and use and kind of marry your camera, because once you find and establish a relationship with the camera, it kind of becomes yours. You start to feel it yours, and there's some kind of magic energy going on between the photographer and the tool. I believe that is creating, again, the magic of photography, of creating a little crystallized chunk of reality through these tools. And these, being analog tools, are the best tool to pick and store and grasp reality, in my opinion, because especially nowadays with AI, it's getting crazy. And that is why I'm loving to go back to the film, because there's no AI involved, there's no digital anything. I'm shooting slides and I enjoy them through the loop on a light box. There's no digital process whatsoever into shooting with these things into this way. I mean, nothing wrong with scanning the film and enjoying the print, whatever, digitally. It's fine. It's up to you to just enjoy your life with the tools that you want, that you prefer, in your way. Just is as easy as that. And I picked these two as my two favorite film cameras for this year, I would say. So there you have it. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.